This next series of video clips is going to be of the Auschwitz-Birkenau visit I had today. I was contemplating on taking some of the footage out, and then I was contemplating on putting anything on YouTube at all. Now, there are a lot of people on YouTube that do a much better job going over both camps than I do. They do a much better editing job. They got a professional polish on their videos. You guys are used to mine at this point. But one thing I've never seen that's in my videos of Auschwitz, and this is not a joke, you'll see it, is the swimming pool in Auschwitz. Now, Auschwitz is the first camp I go to, and that camp was originally a Polish army barracks. I'm thinking that pool was actually there being utilized when it was a Polish army barracks. You'll see it. You'll see where the diving board used to be. You'll see the rails, everything. Now, there's a sign there that says that was built like a pool to look like that, but the water was actually used for a fire brigade, for fire suppression or something to that effect. I'm having a hard time believing that sign. Now, this was at a point in my tour where I broke away from the main group. They all moved to Birkenau. I did a lap around Auschwitz, and this pool is on the outer perimeter. I have never seen anybody put this pool in their footage ever, but you'll see it in mine. And I'm not going to put this for public viewing on YouTube. It's only going to be on my Facebook page, and it'll be an attachment on some people's messengers. That's about it. Photographing and videotaping anything in these two camps can get very touchy for other people. I don't have a polished look to mine where I have this really deep background music playing, the solemn music that makes a reverence of it. A lot of people do that. Anything I did videotape or photographed was where it was allowed. There were some things I'm not even going to discuss that they said, when you enter into this portion, you do not videotape, you do not make any sounds, turn off your cell phones. So there were specific areas where I did abide, but the areas that you will see, those were all condoned. They said videotape, just be, don't be disruptive, just you can videotape and photograph this. Now, when I was doing the pool, what was really kind of odd, I walked the perimeter and I saw there's a lot of security in Auschwitz, more so than in Birkenau. And when I was doing my pool series, a security guard comes in my vicinity, and it's just he and I. And I just keep going with my video, and he just looks at me. And when I get done, he just walks one way and I walk the other. So I don't know what prompted him to come in my vicinity. I kept doing what I was doing. When I got done and I packed up and continued my path, he went a different area. So, but these camps are allowed. You can just wander around them. There's nothing that says you have to be with an organized group. So with that, ask questions. Ask some questions. Tell me what you think about that pool. When you look at it, when I describe it and I show you what's there, there's no doubt that that was a functioning pool at one time. Why the sign says it was just to look like a pool, but it was really, why would you do that? Why would you go to the extent of building something in 1944 after, the height of everything was in 1943 when it came to the extermination camps? You build something and you mock it up to look like a pool. I don't understand that. If you guys have a better answer for me, let me know. And if anyone's watching this that has seen the pool before, let me know if you've seen the pool. Because when I was there was nobody there, just me and the security guard, and he didn't even say anything to me. He just watched me, and when I got done, I picked up my backpack and went one way, and he went another. So if you've seen the pool, let me know. I'm curious. All right, enjoy. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm in Krakow, Poland. I'm heading out to Auschwitz. I'm leaving my hostel that I'm in. It's kind of hostile in there. So the entryway looks kind of old and rugged. My room, let me flip it around. My room's way up there on the 3rd floor. I think that's it. I think that's my room. Anyway, you notice I'm wearing my 9th Infantry Division hat. I was gonna save, and I think I got my jump wings. Got my jump wings on there. So I was gonna save the hat for when I got to do my Normandy portion of the trip, but he's kind of loud. I was listening to that all night. But I was going to save the hat for my Normandy portion, but when I went to the Eagle's Nest, there are quite a few people wearing their U.S. military affiliated hats. So, I don't know, I kind of want to let people know why I am there. I'm U.S. military, and it means something to me to go to Auschwitz and see what my predecessors had accomplished there. Another thing I wanted to say on this intro video is I've been going back and forth a lot on what I want to video and photograph there. I'm not going to do a lot. I've come to that conclusion. I want to absorb my time there. I want to be respectful of the events that happened there and the people it happened to. I get choked up just thinking about it. There were a couple of other sites I had been to already that really get my mind engaged. I will add a couple of links in the description box. I researched some other videos that do a really good capture, respectful capture of what Auschwitz is going to be like, Auschwitz and Birkenau. So if you want to get more, and I know a lot of people watching this, they've seen the movies, they've even seen like Schindler's List, and they get a grasp. The boy in the striped pajamas, Sophie's Choice, list goes on. But for my purposes, for what I want, I think is going to benefit it that I refrain. Nice church down there ringing bells. That I refrain, or I'm really moderate on taking pictures. I want to be in the moment, and I don't want to be that tourist, you know, just there to take pictures and share with friends. Like I said, there's plenty enough to see. I found it on YouTube. Check out the links I'll put on the bottom. So I'm gonna head to the train station, and it's about an hour ride from here. Direct. I gotta catch an early train because there's only direct one to actually go to the Auschwitz station. Then I could take a bus, which is a 20-minute walk. All right, I'll see you in a bit. At first, I was going to do a train-bus combination. Train to, it starts with a T, Transbinia, and then a bus from Transbinia to the Auschwitz. But there's one train right there at 6:44, and it goes straight there without switching anything. Once I get to that station, that's Auschwitz in Polish right there. Train number, or 6:44 departure, and it's train number 30706. It's the only one I saw that has a direct auto connector, and like I said, it goes straight there. And I think there is a small bus I could take, or it's a 20-minute walk. I'm thinking about walking through the town. My entrance ticket tour time is 9:30, so even with walking, I'll still get there with about 45 minutes to spare. But this has been a huge objective of mine, and if I learned anything about like the Eagle's Nest and leaving Burgess Garden, is if you could leave earlier in the day, do it, because things tend to change. So I just got off the train, and the city of Auschwitz train station is right there, right there. Right when I got off, there was a number 2 bus that if I ran from the train to the bus station, to the bus stop, right outside the train station, number 2, it would have brought me right to the museum. It's about a 9 to 10 minute bus ride. It's about a 20-minute walk. But even before, I knew of the buses, but last night when I was planning it, you know, a 20-minute walk. I walked 16 minutes to the train station this morning. And I want to walk to it. I just want to absorb the town, walk through the town, let my imagination fill in some blanks that I have. Perhaps just kind of think about when the U.S. troops were going through these towns and stumbling across some of these maybe lesser known camps. But you know, 20-minute walk is zero compared to being a prisoner of these camps for 20 minutes, if you know what I mean. So let me go. I'm going to do my 20-minute walk, and I'll catch up to you when I get to the camp. Here's a little shot of the city so far, and then I'll wrap this one up. All right, see ya. So my walk's going to bring me straight down this street. Way up there is a white bus that comes in from Transbinia, that one station that's about an hour from here. I guess I could have done that. That was my original plan, actually. But I like this plan better. I was on one single train, a 20-minute walk. I'm still going to get there in plenty of time. It's a little after 8. My tour doesn't start till 9:30, so I'm just taking it easy. But like I said, this is the main drag going into it. So that 20-minute walk, people that know me know I walk fast, turned out to be more like a 15-minute walk, but I'm here. I'll show you the entrance. So those are those white buses that come in from just Beanie, I believe. One just passed me. One thing about my walk-in, let my imagination just think of the different apartments and the homes I saw that were within 100 yards of this place, and what must have been going through their minds when all this was taking place. Of course, people say, you stood there, you did nothing. I'd imagine any verbal opposition or notable protest would have lasted about 30 seconds until you found yourself on the other side of that fence. So for now, I'm just going to follow the crowds. I'm a little, my tour starts at 9:30. They want us here a half hour ahead of time. It's about 8:15 now, so I still got a lot of time to figure this out. But let me get on the pedestrian side so I don't get hit by anybody. So as I'm waiting for my tour to start, I went through security over there, but I will film this. This is a database. I'm gonna imagine this is gonna get really busy when people realize that these things are here. Very similar to Ellis Island, where you, if you want to search the names, you could search names up. So these are some of the last names of the people I found on those brass plaques, but it's the last name. I haven't found an exact match yet. I even put my own last name in there, Dino, nothing showed up. But so I'm going through, and I can imagine when people see these things, there's gonna be a waiting line. So I got about 10 more minutes before my tour meets, but I'm gonna see if I can find some more of those names on those brass plaques that I've been taking pictures of. We found them in Italy, and I think in Germany also. We found them in Berlin. All right, I just wanted to show you this area real quick. I just completed the official portion of the tour with the audio and the guide, and then they kind of marshal you back in down this ramp to turn in your headgear, to turn these in. And when you do, the door closes behind you. But I wanted to see a little bit more. I just kind of wanted to absorb it and sit for a while. This is just, spent a lot of time and thought getting here. Just trying to be, respectful of what this stands for. But still just want to have my moment without a guide. I think some of you guys that know me understand. Just can't fathom anything what it might have been like to been here. I think about my uncles who served in World War II. A lot of soldiers didn't know what was going on. My mom, little girl in Brooklyn, New York during World War II, didn't know what was going on here. My father in Rome, Italy at the time. One of the things the tour guide said is that they made it kind of hidden. This is the only standing crematorium here. What I wanted to point out was the vent shafts up top. There's the chimney there. And then there's one of the exit doors. We entered in from the other side. So I'm gonna wrap up a few things, just sit in silence for a while, and then head over to Birkenau. What I wanted to point out to you, another group is coming. Rudolf Hess lived right in this area, right around there. I can't see through the tree line. But what I wanted to point out, I didn't get to talk in the earlier video, is this is where he was hung. And he was hung, and then there's crematorium number 1. High voltage. This is the high voltage barbed wire, so you got 2 strands of it. So in an escape attempt, you'd have to breach both of those. I'm moving back over to the gas chamber before this other group behind me gets too close. Another group just went in. I did a quick video without audio earlier in this, so I'm just gonna walk in for my own time and just absorb it. So I'm still in Auschwitz. I'm in the very corner of the camp. I can't say if it's, the southeast, west, or the southwest. I don't know. I don't know which corner. But one thing I will say is that it's really peaceful and quiet here right now. A lot of the tour groups are out in that main area. We walk through the sign that says "Work will set you free." One thing I wanted to point out in this area, let me flip the camera around. No, I'll just do it this way, is that you see you got these 2 high-powered barbed wire fences that you can see through. I'm pointing to the first inner part, and then there's the outer part in between, like no man's land. But in the very corners, there's a tertiary, a third wall, composed of cement, but the top of it has the high-powered structures, and there's a guard tower in the very center. If you guys can see it better. Also, I was going to mention, I walked away from the main group, and after I got done with the organized tour, they kind of walk you down the ramp, and there's these double doors, big glass double doors that open and close behind you, and that's pretty much the point of no return. After that, you're going to Birkenau. I walked right up to those doors, and they opened, and I looked, and I said, I want to experience more here. I spent the time and money and effort and interest to be here. There was a benefit of going around with a tour group, but for me, I wanted more of it. Like when I went to go see the Bowfin in Pearl Harbor, as an example, after I got done walking through it with the audio tour, which I felt pretty much pushed through because of the tempo of the audio tour plus the people that were behind you, I turned in my headset and I walked back around for a second visit. And for my experience I wanted to get at, the interpreter, the guide was very informative, but I think another group's coming around the corner. Hold on. Now let me show you this really quick. So you come around this corner, and there's more of the wall. I'm probably going to walk the perimeter just to have my time with it. Thing else I was going to say is that after I left my group and I went back up the ramp, I didn't go through the double doors. I kept my headset. I walked up to what the building that she explained was the processing center, and there's a 10-minute video in there that we could watch. And I went to go watch that video, and it was almost like the video you watch before you go on, and when you're in Pearl Harbor, before you go on to the Arizona Memorial. And I'm thinking, why did she miss this? Why did she just bypass this? Now, some of the information she was able to give, but it was nice to be in the theater and hear it so clean and crisp and seeing the images and the tones behind it. It really made a difference for my visit. So if you do come out here, do the tour, get your tickets online ahead of time, or get it early in the morning. This place gets busy, like not like the Vatican, but the later on in the day, the more it gets congested. But I would also recommend after the structure tour, don't go through those double doors. The last exhibit all the groups go through is the crematorium. After that, listen to what they have to say, break away from the group, and spend some time here with your own thoughts, your own recollection, your own, you guys know what I'm getting at, but spend some time here on your own and absorb the moment after that. The tour was great, but this is part that I needed to experience too. All right, I'll see you on the other side. So I'm still walking the perimeter. Before I forget, the Soviet Army were the ones to come here first, not the Americans. I keep forgetting to say that. Soviets got here first. But I'm by myself. Once again, there's big tour groups inside, but nobody's coming over here. And what this thing is, when I came across it, it looked like a swimming pool, right? In which I pretty much think it was a swimming pool at one time. You're probably thinking, why would they have a swimming pool for these inmates? Well, this was a Polish military camp first, before the Germans came through. So let me turn this around. So the sign says it was a fire brigade reservoir built in the form of a swimming pool in early 1944. But I do think, well, early 1944, they were already here exterminating people or whatever. But in a sense, I do think it was a swimming pool, because it looks like that's where a diving board would have been mounted. I can't see because the sun's in my eyes. And it looked like you would climb up here. You'd climb up on this side. Wow, this is terrible. There we go. You climb up this side on that ladder, and then the diving board would be mounted there. Here, you'd walk across, and then there's where your diving board would be. Probably should have shot this from the other side. Hold on. So you climb up this ladder. Diving board, yeah, this is much better. I'm not fighting the sun again. You cross over here. This pit looks like where a diving board would be. These look like ladders. Like once you would dive in, if you picture a diving board projecting out, this was probably fairly deep, and then you had ladders to get back out, like a lap pool. I'm not sure what that green stuff is, and I'm not sure if that's water. I almost want to throw a stone in there and see what happens. But you got that coming through. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, it is water. It does go deeper. Did you guys see that? Okay, watch out there. So, I thought that was solid. Can you imagine if I jumped in? Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to film any more here in Auschwitz. Like I said, I just recommend, take the tour, then do some stuff on your own. I'm having really good experiences, but I got to get over to Birkenau. So this long yellow white bus brings you from one camp to the other. I just got to Birkenau. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like from the outside looking in first. And I think if we enter in here. Oh, there's the train tracks. Let me get that. Looks like there's a little mini memorial here. But those are the train tracks that go right up to the entrance. So the train would pull right in through there. Once again, probably portrayed in some movies that you've seen, or documentaries. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I was mistaken. The Russian military were the ones to come across Auschwitz and Birkenau, not the US. I thought it was the US. But I'm running out of space on my phone to videotape this all, so let me stop now and I'll get more later. So Birkenau, so vast, so expanded. I walked the perimeter of Auschwitz, and remember Auschwitz was a military installation first, and it soon their purposes, what they were intending to do, they outgrew it and built this one with the sole intention of a concentration camp. As you can see, these structures are wooden, where the other ones were brick. I think my original group actually might have stayed intact and came here with the, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure if the guide came here with everybody else or not. So the Germans made an attempt to destroy all this before they left. Oh, wow. Probably the only furnace they had. Looks like something you'd keep livestock in. I'm imagining these are toilets. I can imagine how hot it was in these places with everybody in them. So if I'm understanding this right, these are two furnaces, one at this end, one down at that end. So you got two furnaces, you got this bench-like structure that goes through that radiates heat, and the prisoners would sit on it to get warm during the winter. These are where all those historical pictures of those bunks, those stacked bunks would have been in here. I just can't get over it that this is actually the place. You know, I've seen so many documentations, photographs, videos of it, and here it is. This is in movies, you know, this is just, and I'm one person in here right now. I'm one person, I'm sweating my head off with just me and with the door open. I can't imagine how cold it was when on the coldest days and how hot it was in the hottest days. This is, and one thing I'll say now, because I'm gonna forget, is that, you know, people think that history won't repeat itself. And I would say if anything's happened once, it can happen again. And if anything to this degree ever happened again, you got to question yourself on, you know, what you would do about it. I would imagine something similar like this might happen again in my own lifetime. So this is, to be here and to wrap your head around it is mind-boggling to me. Perhaps one of the most memorable scenes of any movie portraying this event is the train coming through, right through here, because they got the two tracks, right? You got the two tracks going on. This is the platform. There's actually another set of tracks there. But on this platform, right where that group of people are, so wherever the train pulled over, when the people came to that platform, that's when they were decided immediately if they're going to go straight to the gas chamber or work for a few months before they died. So Sophie's Choice is a good example of that. Some of the movies too. So if in fact they said that, I'm going to turn the polarity of the camera around so you get a better perspective. Okay, hold on. All right, so now you're looking at it proper. So train comes in through there, and then this is the platform. There's a real actual one there. It's not even a replica of one of the cars. So when they're on this dirt area is where you see them separating the families. And if in fact if you were selected for, okay, so I'm not sure where I left off, but so once they're selected, they would walk across just like as the path of the travel of these people right now, and then they would make a sharp right turn on this road and go all the way down to crematorium 3 and 4, which is way down there, which I'm gonna go check out right now. Before I head down there, I just wanted to show you many of these things. These were destroyed. The Germans were trying to burn all these things down before they left. They didn't burn them all down. So looks like some of these camps were separated. He has some separating lines, some separating fence lines in these camps. You can see through there. But I want to get a closer look at this rail car. So from our prior tour, as I understand it, this is one of the original cars that were used during that time for that purpose. Like many of you also know, by the time they took days to get here, some of the passengers would already be dead. And this is a different angle, so they'd be separated here, and they would move down there. Let's go see if I can find. Now the chambers themselves have been destroyed, but the remnants are still there. So in 1943, when the demand became higher for processing the people they were wanting to exterminate, Jews, dissidents, political opponents, they, first they built Birkenau, which I would say you could probably fit about 30 Auschwitzes at least inside of Birkenau. This is
specifically built for their purposes. I'm still walking down the train tracks, but what I've just come upon are the crematoriums that, take that back. I'm not sure, well, you know something? In the other exhibit, it said that the the gas chambers and crematoriums were built under the same structure. So they would kill them with the gas, and under the same structure, they'd move them into the crematorium. So there's two of them. The Germans exploded them trying to destroy evidence, for lack of a better term, I guess. But let me flip it around and I'll show you the crematorium and gas chamber 1 and 2. Actually, I said 1 and 2. I think they're considered 2 and 3. I think number 1 is still considered in Auschwitz. Now, the one in Auschwitz was originally built as a munitions bunker when the Polish military had it. I'm not sure what that says. So that was a munitions bunker, and then they used it for their purposes to exterminate people. Then they built 2 and 3 out here, and when these were fully functioning, I'll show you the other one in a second. When these were fully functioning, they went back to the Auschwitz one, and they made that a bomb shelter. So here's the other one on the other side. I don't know how close I can get to those. Surprised it's not swamped with tour groups. Actually, it's so much nicer not being in a tour group right now. I could be on my own. So it looks like I can walk right up to it. Oh, no? One second, I thought I can't. This gate's opened, but there's a little wire holding it back. So it says keep off the ruins. So there's that one. And I'm not really sure what this is. I'm not sure if, man, wear good shoes if you come here, by the way. I recommend boots, some of the roughest terrain ever. And I'm not sure what this is. Oh, there's a memorial here. Let me get close. Forever let this place be a cry of despair and a warning to humanity, where the Nazis murdered about 1.5 million men. About 1.5 million men, women, and children, mainly Jews from the various countries of Europe. Auschwitz-Birkenau. I'm imagining what you see here is remnants of the crematorium where all the soot is. So this gate structure right here is similar to the one I saw on that side, way out there. But what it looks like, what they did, where you see this gray stone, and all these are, they say the same. I took a picture on the other end, but these are all the same. They say the same thing in all the different languages of all the different countries that were victims of the Holocaust. So I didn't count them all, but I found Italy and the US. So going back to that, so that gate is now part of the monument, the memorial, how it's countersunk like that. And then this is number 3 here. We can get closer to number 3. So here's the remains of this one. I'm not sure if this was the crematorium portion or the gas chamber portion. I'm thinking it's the crematorium portion. So like once they were selected, they were just said, okay, you guys are going to, if you're selected to go to the barracks, you went to the barracks. If you were selected to come here, you were just marched all the way down here. You know the rest. You know, put your clothes on a numbered hook, and you're gonna take a shower. And the rest is history. So these brick structures, I just read later on, I think it was 1943, 44, I guess. These were for women, Jews and non-Jews alike, around this area somewhere. This is actually a good point to do a quick 360. It's just so vast. Like I said earlier, you could have put 30, maybe 40 Auschwitzes in here. There's a lot more liberal freedom for individuals to move around. There's not a lot of clumps of tour groups. It's not as congested or tight. This is probably more the feel I was looking for as far as experiencing this place. I mean, if you look around, you see a lot of people on their own, walking, just checking out the signs and stuff. Or when you're in Auschwitz, it's so small and they got to move people through. And that's kind of like what they do. They don't hit everything. They just get you like to some of the major points, and then they shuffle you out and send you here. And you got more time. There was a big crowd of people in the building behind me. I saw this little wooden walkway. Thought I'd check out what I can get all to myself. From December 1942, this barracks housed several dozen children and their mothers who were deported to the camp from some region during the forced expulsion of the Poles from the areas. So it looks like I get this one all to myself. These rooms might have been where the guards stayed, who were also quasi-prisoners called capos. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. I even think they slept on the floor. Oh, this is insane. Oh, I don't believe in human ghosts, really, that come back after they died. But if I ever felt like there was a presence of somebody watching me, this would be it. Three women were there. I don't know what language that was. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, I don't know. I think this is the wash area. This might have been where it looks like these were the toilets were at. We're in here. That's where women and children were. This was painted on here. This is actually on the wall. I'm not going to touch it. But yeah, this is like in Pompeii, for lack of a better analogy, where this was actually painted directly on the wall by the prisoners. This is amazing. Here's another side. So that one's on that side. And then this is block 16. The sun's killing it. Come on. Terrible. There we go. Block 16. Wall paintings, which according to the testimonies of former prisoners, Polish children deported from the Warsaw Uprising, were created in the second half of 1944. They were made by all unknown prisoners. I'm near one of the outer perimeters, but I came across another structure which nobody's going into. I have no idea. It looked interesting from the outside. Let me see. Okay, this has to be a wash area where you wash up. This would not be one big long urinal. There's just no way. I thought maybe at first, but no, it looks like this was a sink area, and then that's where the soaps went. So you have the little soap things, where I guess if you got to get clean at all, this would be it. This would be like equivalent to a bathhouse, or as close as they're getting to a bath. Check out this security guard in a 4x4 all-terrain Segway. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this Auschwitz-Birkenau video now while I don't have anybody else around me. I'm at the last barracks I'm gonna go into. This was known as the death barracks for women who were found unfit, unhealthy to work any longer, death sentence deemed for the gas chamber. So they would be sent to these barracks upon waiting. They'd be here for like a couple of days, 3-4 days, just waiting to be gassed. As soon as they were assigned to these barracks right here, as soon as they were assigned to it, they never got any more food or water. That was it. They were just here, just waiting to get gassed. A lot of them died while waiting to get gassed. And if this became overcrowded, they just slept here in this courtyard area, just out in the open, until they died or they got moved into the gas chamber. So we'll enter this now, and then we'll conclude this series. Okay, so this is the main doorway. Once again, these are probably just little small areas where the one guard stays. Here's one that has a door on it, a little heater. So it looks very similar to the other ones I had already been in. So it was just designated for that one purpose I just mentioned. So you get a chance to come. I'm kind of giving some of my clues and advice. It's a long day. I got here about 8:30 this morning. It's 2:30 now. I'm probably not going to do much more. I'm just going to try to find my way back to Krakow. It's about at least an hour and a half from here. I got to take the other shuttle back, but getting back to my trip today, I designated today. I didn't want to do any other visiting or tour sightseeing. This was a big one for me. I think I got Dachau on the list. A few other ones. I got the Anne Frank house on the list, the D-Day beaches, but I didn't see any bathrooms in here in this one, like I did the other barracks. So I hope you enjoyed coming along and seeing it. Check out the links in my description box for some other people that did better ones than I did. But take care, everybody, and hope to see you soon. Actually, let me close out with this. This barrack, known as Death Barrack, was used to house female prisoners deemed unfit for further labor by the SS during selections in the camp and sentenced to death in the gas chambers. Often they had to wait here for several days before being killed, receiving neither food nor water. As a result, many women died while waiting to be sent to the gas chamber. When the barrack was overcrowded, some of the prisoners had to remain outside in the closed courtyard. All right, have a good day, everybody. Leaving now. It's been a long day, but I hope that you guys are able to come out to Poland. This is you really could come out. I mean, you could read about this stuff, you could watch it on TV, but walking in the footsteps gives you a whole nother perspective. Take care. Bye.